live-ish.
Alright, hello everybody. Devin Edison here once again. I'll be going live with each and every one of you and showing you a quick little process on what we call the stamp design. So I'll be showing you guys a little bit of tricks here, so stay tuned. Hey guys, Devin here, and welcome to the T.Skies live show today. I will be your host for today, Devin Edison. That is me. Hello, or as everyone will know me as the Rainmaker, or for any of you who are just tuning in, I'm the guy with the long hair.
Yeah.
And like always, we have in the background, we have Marco in the back to be able to help me out with some little questions that you guys might want to answer. Mm-hmm. And for today, we're actually not doing a live show. We're not doing a live sale today. But for today, we're just doing just a little quick of a demo / Q&A for each and every one of you. That I know that everyone here has a lot of questions and a lot of information that everyone wants to know, wants to figure out, and what the hell we're doing here. So this is just about the time to be able to come on with us and join us on the live show on both on Facebook and YouTube.
Awesome. Let's let everybody give some time so they can get in. We got some YouTube viewers, some Facebook viewers. Let us know where you're watching from today.
There we go, and just sharing this on the inner circle and also my profile that. And if you guys haven't tuned in yet, you can also tune in to our inner circle as well, where as Holden will be able to be posting on the bottom there. Yep, there it is, down in the comments. It's a nice good little group, a private group that we created so that you can be able to come join us and be able to see some of the get in quick contact with an artist, or you can make quick friends with everyone in the inner circle. You can see some of the behind the scenes, and also you can see some of the jewelries that have not sold yet during our live sales.
Yeah, and we always post some cool stuff. If you have questions, everybody posts their jewelry that they get. Shep will answer, I will answer, Devin, Miki. We all try to get in there and communicate with all y'all.
Yep, and like always, it's always fun seeing all the jewelries and also some of the jewelries that actually make it there. So if you guys have tuned in, all you gotta do is just join in the inner circle.
Yeah, we got Tracy watching from Austin, Duanya, D.
Hello everybody.
Cape Cod. And Sean always says go Lobos.
Go Lobos, woo!
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess in this case the ow!
Woof woof.
Yep, the woof
More
woof.
like it. Let's see. Alright, well I guess we'll show off what we're doing today. I think we got enough viewers.
Alright, watching from Albuquerque, far north heights.
Oh, very cool.
Hey, what do you know? Hey, I'm actually from around that area.
The Northeast Heights?
Well, close.
We're basically in the Northeast Heights, right?
Close.
It's the Northeast Heights?
How about almost? I think we're still in the metro area.
We just call it Hoffmantown.
Alright, I think it's more as an uptown.
Yes. So, let us know what are we working with today, Devin?
For today, I'll be showing you guys some little process. I'll be able to show you the process of how we're making our bracelets here. And you know, I should have grabbed more stamps because I only brought the one.
Yeah, I could go grab some for you in the middle of this.
Sure, you can do that. Just grab me some random ones you can grab. Just give me a handful of it.
Yeah, so we got this, and what is the other piece we're working with today?
And the other piece, I'm actually going to be working with the nice, good, big piece here. And these are actually coppers I'll be working with today. And for this big piece, I'm going to be showing you guys the process of a repose. Sorry, it's just I try to have
We got so many cameras going.
3 cameras here. Don't know which one to go for. 1, 2, or 3.
Mm-hmm. So we got some repose, and we're going to be doing some regular stamping. I'll go grab you some stamps real quick.
All right, and while you're getting that, I'm going to talk to everyone here that if you guys are just tuning in and you don't see this red live icon here on Facebook, I believe somewhere around here, that if you don't see that red live icon, or if you don't see it down here where the play button is at, then we are no longer live. You're rewatching the show. And again, this is not a live sale today. For today is going to be a quick demo and a Q&A for everyone out there in social media to see if you guys have any more questions you want to answer us, and we'll be glad to help you out with that. All right, so let's see here. First, I'm going to show you some of the stamp that I managed to grab here. And it's pretty interesting about this one here, and see if I can be able to zoom in for each and every one of us. And basically, all the stamps that we've been working with is pretty much are from kind of like a rebar of sorts, and also some of them are kind of just steel bars here.
Got some steel blocks for you. T.Skies stamp.
I was gonna say the stamp. Well, yeah.
You can use either, yeah, just so you can show it a little bit better.
Yeah, and also there's Marco Getz. Hello.
T.Skies shirt. Let us know if you want one. I just grabbed you a bunch of random ones. I wanted to see if you could pull out a design out of thin air. You know.
All right. So these are the designs that. These are some of the designs that Marco managed to get for me.
Let's get a closer peek at those. Yeah. So we got T-Skies and a bunch of random ones.
Yep.
And you've made a few stamps, right?
Oh yes, and that's what I was going to talk about on this one, because this one is actually, I handmade this myself.
Gosh. Show the profile. So it's just out of what material?
It's out of kind of like, it's actually out of rebar. And I made this out of.
Yeah, and you have to go through the heating process. What do you use to carve it? Just your files?
Yep, everything I use is actually all hand filed. So I hand filed it to be able to make that triangle on it. Then try my best to be able to carve out the little groove in there, and then carve out these tiny little grooves in there too to be able to get that Kiva steps.
Very cool. Dang, that's some. We got to do a little demo in the shop for that, Devin. And look how small those are too. Look how small they are. All that detail in such a small piece.
Yep, and I think this one was actually pretty much about 2 inches, I believe.
Oh, 2 inches long?
2 inches long, yeah.
Yeah. And you'll see some of the stamps we've used a lot. Like we'll show the top of the repoussé stamp, or the top where you actually hit it. It gets actually flanged out from how much we hit it. So it starts as one big piece, and then over time we destroy the stamp.
Yep, you can see on this, you can see that started to get a little bit of a groove out, and that's due to the fact that we keep hitting on it, and then it just kind of ends up kind of like pushing it down to be able to get that little kind of, what would you call that?
More like a flanging, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. But Cora, as you can see, we do have a little relief for the other side of the stamp as well. So we'll get to that in a few. I was gonna grab your Rainmaker stamp, but I didn't want to go searching through your desk.
No worries. I'll put that on later on. Or if anyone wanted to see that little demo, then I'll see if I can be able to run up, and Marco can be able to help out with finishing up some of the.
And that was a custom one from Rio, right?
Yep, that was a custom one.
Gosh, very cool, dude.
Thanks. All right, so let's start off with first off going off for the repoussés. And for this one, I just wanted to make sure that everything is nice and aligned.
So basically, you're lining it up so it overlaps a little bit past the edge.
Yep. Just lining up on the sides here so that where you can see I actually made it kind of like a groove line. You can see my lines here and a little bit on that one.
Okay, and you're going to be using that part where your thumb is, basically?
Yep.
Wow,
so
okay.
this entire piece, I'm actually going to use this nice good repoussé.
Oh, you use that for centering?
Yep, I use this for centering because if you could tell on this one, there's some little groove lines within the piece itself.
Gosh, I never knew. I'm learning so much already, Devin.
You never knew that?
No, I just went for it.
You just went for it?
Yeah, I was just like, let me just center this right here. I guess that's why mine came out as they did. Not as masterful of Devin's.
You want me to show yours or do it first and then show it off?
We'll show it, because mine is, yours is going to be way better, I think.
Alright, so this one's the one that Marco managed to do for himself. Whoops.
That seems in camera 3 real quick for you.
So yeah, this is the one that Marco is working on right now.
Yeah, I actually use a technique too, so it looks a little cast, but I use something called reticulation.
And tell us a little more. What is reticulation?
So reticulation is when you, basically that was a hand-rolled piece of metal from scrap and then made into that repoussé piece. And what I do is I melt it so much, or I heat it, I anneal it, and go through all these processes like 7 different times. So you can actually get this texture on the front of it that's more of like a fractal or a lightning bolt kind of thing. It's basically you have a core in the metal of copper, and then on the surface is pure silver. And then they have 2 different melting points. So the silver melts on top of the copper, and it gets a really cool textured effect.
Yeah,
and this is going to be a little sneak peek of what Devin and I will be collaborating on.
Yeah, we'll just show you guys in the backside, but for now, that one is going to keep remaining a secret.
Oh, yeah. Alright, let's make one now.
Alright. So for this one, what I'm going to be needing for this little demo here is I'm going to need my good male and female repose stamp here. And also with my own trusty mallet.
Oh, yeah. So a lot of people in stamping use brass or the brass hammers, and I just found out why they do that. So for small ones, if you hit it, and you like mess up and you hit it on the side, it'll catch an indent, so it'll catch and grab onto it and still hammer it.
Oh.
So that's why our hammers are all messed up that look like that, because they're supposed to.
Oh, okay. I thought that they did that because when you hit it, it actually absorbs all the shock, so that you know that when you be able to hit something, it just end up kind of like bouncing back on you, just kind of like a ding.
Yeah, like with a good anvil.
Yeah, but then later with the brass ones, you can be able to just quick, and then later stays there. It doesn't ricochet or get back on you.
Is that just the hammer you use for everything, or is that just the weight you like?
Pretty much this is actually the hammer I use. Well, actually, yeah, this is my primary hammer now, where I don't use kind of like the small hammers, big hammers, medium hammers. This is the only hammer I use. I use it for everything.
Unless you're what about texturing? Do you texture with that hammer?
No, I don't texture with this hammer. That hammer was with other designing hammers, but this one I just use it to be able to use for my stamping. And this one.
How heavy is that one? Is that like a...
This one's a 3 pound.
3 pound?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a big one.
3 pounds, but I think it was a little more heavier than that. But then again, I got this from Lowe's, so...
Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, shoot, let's show them. Let's get into it. It's going to be a big bad noise.
Yep. So, little warning to everyone, it's going to be loud.
Yeah, and another thing, too, there's an X on these to line them up correctly, right?
Yeah, go to camera 2 real quick. So you can see that there's this little X here and an X down here, and that indicates that this is because when you be able to set it like that, it's parallel, so it all fits in one section, and that's what it is with repos. You gotta make sure everything is aligned, that if I end up going a wrong way or I end up going backwards, then it's actually not perfect.
Yeah.
If it is not a perfect fit, then I might end up ruining both the design on the metal and also the design on here.
Yeah, I think I was about to do that, and you caught me one time. You're like, don't do that. You saved me.
Yeah, just gotta make sure everything is aligned, or else you'll end up destroying the design, and, well, it's pretty much...
Can damage the tool.
Yep. So just gotta make sure everything is lined up there. Then everything is lined up with this section here. Alright. And as I always tell everyone at the shop, heads up, loud noise. So what I do is just be able to get it steady enough, and then...
Dang.
Yeah, I think it's better off doing on
the stump?
On the stump itself, yeah.
Cool. I'll help you out with that. Here, maybe we can actually do it with this camera.
There we go. So if you guys don't know, there's a little log right down here, just kind of like right over here.
And that's your first little indent right there. So with copper, are you noticing that it's a lot harder?
Yep, with copper it's a lot harder than it is with silver. And that is the reason why sometimes when we're testing out some of our tools, or kind of testing out some of our, pretty much testing out our tools or testing out design, copper is a good way to go to start off with. Yeah. So we can understand what it does, and then later we'll be able to get a nice good design out of it.
Mm-hmm. Right now you're just trying to catch it.
I thought this was going to be easier, but no, it isn't.
No, copper's hard, man. It's alright, you're gaining your muscle now.
There we go. Getting there. So yeah, you see that it requires a lot of strength on this one where be able to get that design out.
And usually we'll wear ear protection, but we went free ball today. No ear protection for us.
Yep. But then later after that, this is pretty much as far as I'm getting, but that's pretty much how you be able to get the design.
Oh yeah. That's good actually. So sometimes too, what I've noticed, if you have like too soft of a metal, you'll actually blow out your metal. And that happened to me with that piece, for example.
Actually, that depends on the thickness itself, because if you soften it, then that will make it a lot more easier. But if you don't end up annealing it or anything, then later it'll just end up, that actually will blow up on you.
Yeah.
So what we say there is that every time the metal itself is pretty much hard right now, but if I were to be able to heat it up all the way to almost to a red, not to a yellow, not to an orange, but just that exact red color on it, so the heat color, quench it in water, and that will make it soft enough where I can easily just bend it without any struggle.
Mm-hmm.
But without it, then when I'm just banging on here, then one of these sides will actually end up being kind of like pop. It'll end up cracking it, and then later I'll have a big hole at that area, and then later I have to solder it, or it'll just end up ruining it more, and I have to throw it away and remake another one.
Mm-hmm. So with that one, do you consider that one a completed one, or is it not deep enough for you?
Not deep enough for me, but this one's pretty good to be able to make a nice good button out of it.
Mm-hmm. Would you anneal that and go back to do it again if you're working in silver and it wasn't good enough? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much just keep annealing. With silver, it's a lot softer, but then again, stamping on, using the stamper and everything, it'll end up kind of getting it hard more, and then later I have to go re-anneal it, and then later that's when I can get the full design out again.
Yeah, anytime you're working with metal, it's called work hardening. If you're like working it and bending it and everything, it gets to a point where it's really stiff. So it's hard you have to anneal it and fix it.
Yep. And that is just a little example on when you see replies, and then you see like a big replicé kind of like big as this or anything bigger than that, you'll know that is actually the process of making it.
Yeah, like conchos, anything like that. Let's get a close-up and show what your work looks like.
So that's pretty much on how it looks like.
Sounds actually really cool. I want to work with copper a little bit more, honestly.
There we go.
Wow. Let's see, maybe a little bit more. I can zoom in. Boom. So see all those little edges.
Yep, and flipping it around, you'll see that it's a nice good dent in the back.
Very cool. And you centered it perfectly. Look at that. Look at those lines.
Oh yeah, I managed to get that nice dead center. Alright, so now that was just a quick demo on the replies, and who knows, maybe later on I'll have be working on silver later on, and who knows what that would be making. Because now, Marco's building something.
Yeah.
I know what it is. He knows what it is, but all of you don't know yet. But it's going to be a surprise.
Tracy has a question for you.
Yes.
Would you have to cut it out to finish whatever you're making from there?
Oh yes. Then after that, once I be able to get that nice and get that design out, and maybe add some little designs around it, just in case. Then if I wanted to get this to flare up a bit, or just make it kind of like a simple cut as that, all I got to do is just use this our little handy saw.
Handsaw. A little handy saw.
A little handy saw.
Yeah, most of the time I've seen you. So what you do with a lot of those replies is you'll put bead shot. You'll do more stamping around it. Literally, like you can do whatever you want with it, right?
Yep.
And you cut it out from there.
Yep. Let me show you a little quick demo on the cutout. See if we can get the camera 3 to...
Yeah, we'll do camera 2, I think. That'll probably be easier for you.
Camera 2, alright. So what I'm going to do is actually now I'm going to show you guys on the cutting process of it. So let me just get lower here so I can get comfortable. There we go.
Just adjust this real quick.
Thank you guys, thank you. And Joe, only which I say this would be a nice good ring on it, but it actually will not, because the way that he said it, the way that Marco is setting it on here, it's an odd way to put it on a ring, but not an odd way to put it on another sort of device.
Another device?
Well, I don't want to give out the entire details.
I know, I thought you were going to give it out. I was like, oh, you talk crap to me about giving your secrets out, Devin? Alright, we should be good.
This guy, I was trying to keep that I was making something, then he had to go and shout it out to everyone. Hey, this is what Devin's making.
Yep.
Marco!
I ruined everyone's surprises, basically.
Oh boy, Joe, you might know what it is, so... Oops. So, I just asked, don't say anything yet. It's our own little secret, and we're trying to keep it a nice, good surprise, so... Shh.
Dang, you look like a ventriloquist right now.
Do I?
You got some good handwork.
Thank you.
Alright. So, yeah, Devin's gonna be showing you how he cuts out the repoussé now.
Alright, so...
It's pretty thick metal, too. It's gonna take a while.
Yeah, but I'm just going to show them. It's just kind of like I'll just cut out like a little circle out of it.
Mm-hmm.
To where it's just kind of like an example on this part. Where you see that I'm actually moving up and down with it. And you can see that I'm actually moving in the metal itself. What I'm going to do is now just going to create just a little circle. Just cut out a little circle out of this. Hello, Sistinas. Hello, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. For today, I'll be just showing you guys, we'll be showing you guys just a little demo on the work process of how we're doing everything, where I just showed the repoussé design, and now it's showing you guys a little bit of sawing work, of cutting out our designs. I'll be cutting it out. Oh yeah, and also a safety tip, make sure your hands are away from...
Or blocked by the bench pin. Yeah, that's what I always do. Like, there's that little hole by the bench pin. Just make sure it can't go past the wood.
Yeah, but I tried that before, and somehow I still managed to cut my fingers.
Ouch, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the rule about sawing, that when you're sawing, make sure your hands are away from the saw where you're sawing towards. Where I'm sawing towards that way, going that way, then I gotta keep my hands away from that direction, so I gotta hold it.
It's hard to do it sometimes, because you gotta support your work.
Yep. And there. Now where'd you think?
Yeah, so you saw how long that took just to cut out that little piece. Imagine how long it would have taken to cut out the whole thing.
Yep, so that's the piece. Whoops. Had the wrong way. There we go. So you see, I managed to cut out that piece with that. So that took me, that alone just took me about a couple minutes to be able to do. Just imagine how I'll be able to cut out this whole design out.
Sue asks, is there any reason you don't use any small power tools, like a Dremel?
Let's see, let's go to camera 1 so I can talk to it quick. Well, sometimes you can be able to use that, but for me personally, I prefer to do it all hands. All handwork, and also with the handwork itself, you have a little more control of your cuts, your stamps, anything else. You have more control over it than the drill, than any of the little power drills or the power tools. Because with that, you might end up losing control on it, and it'll just end up catching it, scratching it, and sometimes you end up cutting a little too much that there's no repairs on that one. Where with hand saws, you can be able to control the cuts. Where you saw that I managed to control on how I'm actually cutting this design, and that's how I got that little piece out.
Yeah. And another question from Tracy: do you use different saw blades for different metals?
Pretty much, yeah. Because I believe this one is we kind of have them.
For different metals?
Yeah, that's the way that I learned it. That's the way that I was learning through the online. That right now we're kind of on the saw blades themselves, they can be able to be taken off. Where let's go to camera 2 real quick, where I can show you guys that this is actually the saw blade itself is actually replaceable. So all I got to do is just twist that in there, twist this in. After that, I can be able to replace the saw blade with another saw blade.
Yeah.
And we have them in kind of in different sizes, but I'll try. I don't know why we do it this way, but we kind of do them in kind of like numbers in a way where we go from a size 6, which is kind of just a little. We're still kind of like skinny, has this little tiny blade. Let's see if I can be able to. There you go. I don't know if you can see it, but this little about
show it off on that one.
This little tiny have a blade here.
Super tiny, yeah. Oh.
Right there. So this little blade here, this one is what we call a number 2, but a number 6 would be just a little thicker than that. So it goes from the normal, kind of the whole number, to end up going to like a 2/0.
Yeah,
Was it?
I think we call it 2 watt. So basically, it goes from 6 to 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1, and then to 1 watt, 2 watt, 3 watt, 4 watt, 5 watt, 6 watt, and then all the way up to 9 watt. I think.
Yeah, I think
and the
that's
9 watt is basically like, it's like if you've ever gotten a tattoo. Like the 9 watt is the smallest little needle you could get, or the smallest saw blade, and the 6 is the largest saw blade. It's usually for cutting different thicknesses of metal.
Yeah, where the one I'm using, I can be able to use it to cut through anything, but the best way to maybe cut through a piece this thick, I got probably go a little more thicker than that.
Yeah, the most common one we use is 2 watt.
Yeah.
That's the common one because it's like an everyday saw
That's
blade.
Huh, because I've been using a 2.
You just been using a regular 2?
Yeah, regular 2.
Oh man, I always use a 2 watt. There you go, yeah. Everyone has their choices on it.
Yeah.
So you want to go into stamping bracelets now?
Oh yes, let's go into stamping bracelets.
Before we go there, Sistina's got a question for you.
Alright. I have a photo of a vintage necklace that I love. If I unbox it to you, do you think you could evaluate it and let me know if you could craft me one similar to it?
Yeah, you can have. Do you want her to send it to hello@T.Skies or message you?
I'll say that send it to hello@tskies.com so that just to make sure that we're all in, because I don't want to end up kind of like just taking the most of it and then later just end up confusing everyone all around me, just kind of what's going on.
Yeah, so with customs right now, we're pausing on customs a little bit, but yeah, message us Sistina's at hello@T.Skies with a photo about getting it custom and getting a pricing out for it, and we'll get to you.
Yep.
And we'll make sure Devin works on it. Because we have a whole, like, I do customs, Olivia does customs, but...
Mostly everyone here does customs.
Shep does customs. Yeah, there we go.
Yep. All right. And now let's go into making some nice and good bracelets. Okay. Oh, right.
We're going to be adjusting cameras for a second.
Adjusting cameras.
Tag teaming it.
Let everyone here adjust the cameras while I adjust my measurements here.
Yeah, so what are you going to be doing with your, what is that tool called for everybody at home?
This one is normally just known as just a regular divider.
A divider.
Or a compass.
Yeah, it's basically a compass, but in jewelry we call it divider. I don't know where that comes from. I guess it starts out from like stone setters, like people do like massive stone setting, and they divide all these little boxes with it basically. So you basically divide things with it. Like basically right now, you're going to be dividing a bracelet in half, right?
Yep, just going to be able to mark it down right on the dead center. Not duplicated due to making some rights, but I'll message T.Skies. All right? Yeah. Don't worry, I'll try.
We all work on it.
Yeah.
Get a whole T.Skies family piece.
Yeah,
Sometimes
who knows?
That happens.
We'll have a collaborative piece.
Oh yeah, me and Devin are working on one right now. Hopefully a few more.
Yep, and that's what it is. And you want to show out the turquoise on it?
No, we'll wait. They got enough sneak peek.
All right.
I'm still not done with it. Needs some work.
All right, so that's going to be a secret itself, and just bear with us, and it'll be showing off hopefully within next week.
Maybe Monday. We might do it Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah. Sounds
I haven't made jewelry, basically my own jewelry, in a year and a half. This is the first piece I've made in a year and a half.
Wow, seriously?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. for like myself and not for like other people and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because you know us, Devin, we're always working holidays for our family.
Oh, yes.
Making jewelry for all of our sisters and moms, right?
Yep.
That's what happens. All right.
Alright, so what I'm going to do here is actually I'm going to, what we say scribe, and by that definition in jewelry, it means that I'm just going to be scratching along the center here so that I can find my center on the piece.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people too will use like a Sharpie, but Devin taught me like I love using the scribe. I don't mind getting a scratch out or anything. I don't know about you. Do you ever use Sharpies anymore for centering?
Actually, no, because due to the fact that they don't come off that easily.
I mean, neither does, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I like using the scribe because you can actually feel it whenever you're putting your stamp
So
on.
as you can see there, I have a nice, good scribe right down the center of it to mark my center.
Yeah, and you did both the center, or like the width and the length?
I did on the length, but not the width yet.
Ah, okay.
So for this one, we're looking at 5 3/4, so that's a medium. So that's going to be right there.
You know, it's funny, on my desk upstairs, I wrote down all the sizes and then, like, what I have to cut them in half to, because I would always forget. I would always have to do all this math, and I'm just like, no, I'm just going to write this down on my desk.
Yeah, working in jewelry, you'll end up having to do a lot of math stuff. So, if you want to do jewelry, then you got to be a good mathematician.
Or just learn how, it's like carpentry, like, just write down all your stuff, like, with ring sizing, with all that. Sometimes I try to do it by eyeball, like that double ring shank I showed you. I was just let me just hammer this on the 10 mark. It works, but it's a lot more difficult than just measuring it out.
Yeah, that came out good.
Yeah, still in the process. Devin's teaching me a lot lately. Learning a lot. All right.
Right, so let's see here. Let's see what kind of stamps we're gonna use today.
Yeah.
Let's see. Got some two triangles, an arrowhead, and it looks like nice good half circles, a nice good square, and like always our T.Skies stamp to indicate that hey, it's been made here in T.Skies.
And we had another comment about the Sharpie. We use alcohol to wipe, like nail polish remover to wipe it off a lot.
Yeah, we do that, but then
I just don't do it just because I don't mind, because I'm always gonna take it and polish it anyways. So I don't want to go through another step of wiping something off.
Yeah,
But
and
some people do it upstairs.
yeah, and I've been trying to do that for a while, but then later some of the stamp marks I make, it's hard to get that alcohol inside the stamp and then get rid of that ink off, and it's just been.
It's weird. I don't know.
It's a weird.
People, we all do it differently upstairs. It's fun.
Yep. Let's see. Ooh. You know what? I got an idea on how to make this.
Okay, Devin. I see you.
So for this, I'm going to measure out just maybe right there. And what I'm going to do is going to be doing a line along the edge here. And there we go. So you can see that I just managed to do outline right at the very ends here.
You want to say hi to everybody, Victor? The newest member of the T.Skies family?
I warned you, every time you come down here, you
I'll
end up
make
getting
you
on
do it.
camera.
You're going to have to say hi. Get up there, Victor.
Everybody give your hands together for my cousin Victor.
So
Victor here has been starting to work with us for about, over a month now?
about over a month, yeah.
Yeah. And you're our newest stamper. You're getting crazy good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that finger. Yep, the tools of the trade, right?
Yeah.
The signature band-aids on our fingers, and that indicates, yep, you are a true jeweler right there.
How do you feel about stamping so far? Is it getting hard, or you feel like you're getting the hang of it?
I mean, I think I'm getting the hang of it. Like, for a person that never done like jewelry, I feel like I'm like really good at it.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Yeah, like once you get in the hang of it, I hope you start making some jewelry for yourself. We'll bring you on the show, sell some of your pizzas.
Yeah.
Make a little extra cash, buy some more concert tickets.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, we're gonna start you young. We're gonna make you get up there.
Yeah, we're going to build you up, and who knows, you'll end up making something like this with your own designs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever you have some free time, feel free to grab some copper and stamp, dude.
All right. Cool.
All right, thanks, Victor.
Yeah, we'll see you guys.
See ya.
Yeah,
We'll be
see
back.
you later. And thank you for coming on camera real quick.
All right.
So let's see. For this design, I'm going to do this nice and quick.
Justina's, I'm making some jewelry now. I finally set up my studio at home so I can make some stuff.
Yep, and this is his little secret project he's working on. Let's go to camera 3.
I think I've made like 10 pieces in the past week, and it feels amazing. But I'm real rusty, so I don't like the pieces I've made.
Yep, so this is the piece he's working on, and I gotta say this one is coming out good.
Yeah, I just have a specific style I'm shooting for with a bunch of different, like with reticulation. That's basically going to be in all of mine. And then you'll see some patinas that we do. I'll be doing a fun patina sometime soon.
Yep. All right, so let's get into the nice good stamping. Or in other words, we're gonna make a lot of noises here. So be warning on that one. So what I'm gonna do is gonna set it up right along my lines, so that when I stamp it, it comes out right dead center on the lines.
Mm-hmm. And if you were making a design you knew, you'd be pretty quick at it, right?
Yep, it's pretty much a and then later there done.
Yeah, me and the attunes. I haven't done attunes in a while. It feels weird.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Oh
I haven't
yeah,
done
you're
attunes
right.
in like 2 or 3 weeks, and
Same.
shoot, I'm so fast at those.
I know, same here. I haven't done them for about.
Once I started doing them, you stopped, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I was no longer needed for it. You're the one that took over it.
That's like the only piecework I do because I'm only here for like 4 hours a day.
There we go. A nice good stamp there. And you see that I'm actually going this a lot faster than anyone else would ever think of.
Oh yeah. Thanks, Sistinas. You'll see me up there soon. Hopefully next Monday when Miki and I are both here.
Oh yeah, and hey, who knows? Maybe I'll end up seeing you actually donate a piece to the T.Skies.
Oh yeah. That's the plan. I think we have a silverware show planned up soon. It was supposed to be today.
Oh yeah.
We had some scheduling conflicts, so basically we have all these pieces that the T-Skies team has made with old silverware, like sterling silver.
Yep, sterling silver silverware. There's a lot of spoons, forks, and well, that's pretty much it. I would say
I don't know if no one used the knives because they were hollow.
Actually, we're not doing those because some of it is actually titanium too.
Ah, yeah, I think the knives were the only things not silver.
Yeah, we're just remelting those. Yeah, the only sterling silver on them was the handle themselves, but then after that, I tried to cut them off, but it's hard to cut them off.
Yeah,
so
well, then the chef just like bent it.
yeah, all we're using for those ones is just melting it and then reusing it for our casting.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see that just a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you get into a rhythm of it.
Yep.
Whenever we're upstairs and all stamping, sometimes we catch ourselves getting into a rhythm with each other. It's really fun. Like, I'll be stamping, Diego will hit the next one, and then Devin will hit the next one, and then we just start over the cycle.
What's pretty much I think that you're the one that start the.
I try to keep it in rhythm, and then everybody, like, tries to attach onto it. It's fun.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the one that just kind of gives that. And then later, Diego, it gets the beat.
Yeah, we should record it sometime and just share it. Like, once we're in the groove.
Yeah. Until we get all the stamp dancers to come up, then later, well, we'll get someone to record us getting our beats in, getting our group drums coming in.
Mm-hmm. So Sue asks, how much practice does it get to maintain steady pressure on the stamp? From my experience, it took me almost like 5 months to get really good at stamping.
Yeah,
And
pretty much.
Yeah, that was practicing like every day at work, basically.
Yeah, for me.
But once it clicks, man.
Yeah, for me, I guess that I was starting to do it when we were taking the classes together. Then after that, just one class. Then after that, I just kind of managed to understand the stamp a little more, be able to get some nice good stamping out of it. Then ever since then, stamping to me has been just kind of like a breeze where I know how to hold it nice and tightly. I know how to be able to stamp on it without having to lose any grip of it. But yeah, it takes a while to get used to stamping on them. That, like you saw Victor with his Band-Aid finger. So yeah, it takes a while.
Yeah, and sometimes like if you're not focused too, you end up shooting a stamp off to the side. You'll drop a stamp. I think the hardest thing though that I've experienced is lining the stamp up.
Yeah,
That's the hardest part.
Lining up, yeah, those are the tricky ones. But once you get the groove in it, then you'll end up getting a nice piece like that.
There you go. That's cool, Devin. Didn't take you long at all.
Nope, did not take me long at all. Now
Get into a flow. It's fun.
Now let's see, what else to make here? What else will we got? Ooh, I guess I'm going to use my own personal handmade stamp here. And then we're just going to be adding on to it this
Steven
one.
has another question for you.
All right, what we got?
If you make a mistake, is it fixable? Sorry, Holden. My bad.
Let's see for mistakes. Well, yeah, yes, any mistakes can be able to catch up on there. And once the mistakes, that luckily, if it's on silver, then what Marco would do is he actually kind of melts down that area, or kind of like put on solder, and that's kind of like a melting wire that we use to be able to connect pieces together. But in his case, just kind of like put a dab on it over the area, then let's just restamp it from there. But me personally, if I made a mistake, then later just kind of like I'll try to work with that mistake and count it as kind of like a
Part of the design.
part of the design to be able to hide it from there. If not, then there's this piece like, next.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you gotta, like with those triangle stackers.
Oh,
if you
the
mess
triangle
up, you gotta
stackers.
toss it. That's all.
Yeah, those triangle stackers. My hands are still hurting from that. All right, so now going on to making the continuing with this bracelet with my handmade stamp. So all I gotta do is just put that on there, and then later, where were you? Right here. I'm going to be able to use this little guy here. Try and get it as centered as possible, and then later just stamp right there.
And what I've noticed too when I've been stamping a lot more is you use the reflection of the metal too.
Oh yes, I managed to use the reflection itself, so I can be able to see my lines and get it nice and perfect.
Yeah, and another thing too, I think I saw you do it with the one next between the triangles, is if you don't get a deep enough stamp, you can actually go back in it and you can go back in it and kind of catch it, right, to make sure you get like the full stamp.
Yep.
Sometimes it messes up though, and you get a double stamp.
Yeah, but once again, you gotta understand the stamping itself, so you can be able to see that. You can be able to know on where to hit it and how to get that nice, good design out of it.
Stinus has a copper question for you.
Go ahead.
Oh, I can. I guess. Devin, I love the copper bracelet. It's so beautiful. I don't even want to wear it because it's just so clean. Start wearing it daily. What would stain it, and what could I do to clean it?
Let's see. For copper itself, I would say that you can be able to use kind of like a jewelry cloth from a craft store, or kind of like your local jeweler business that they can be able to maybe provide you one. If not, then the best way to be able to, what I learned throughout my time is that for copper, the best way to clean them up is actually lemon juice, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
I knew that.
I was struck by that too, but it's actually interesting that all you gotta do is get yourself some of the lemon juice, pour it in a little plastic bag, put all your copper stuff into that bag.
Acidity, okay.
Yeah, then let's just kind of like shake it up, just kind of like wash it in that. Then after that, the acid actually helps clean it a little more. Then all you gotta do is take it out, rinse it in water, so they can be able to get rid of the stickiness off it. But yeah, just rinse it off with water, then boom, it's back to nice and shiny.
Yeah, we use polishing cloths. I don't know if we have any around, but there's actually that's a piece of paper. We use these little sunsheen cloths that have polishing compound in them, but I honestly love using having my bracelets get patinaed. You know, that's the part of it. That's why vintage is so popular. You know?
Yeah.
It's that natural patina of just wearing it.
Yeah, but that's actually you can be able to use a cloth, or surprisingly the lemon juice method. Yeah, you can be able to use that. And I've been using it I used it quite back in the day, and surprisingly, it actually works. Who knows? Maybe we'll do a video on that one.
Yeah, we'll do some cleaning tips, some at-home cleaning tips.
Yeah. Then let's just continue on with the stamping here. So let's see, if you guys got any questions, feel free to let us know. In the meantime, I will be stamping this for a few more minutes. And you can see that I'm actually managed to do this a lot faster than normally. Whoops, wrong stamp.
And what do you do with that? It's just in the design now, right?
Yep. Or maybe if that looks big enough that where I can be able to hide it within my own stamp.
Oh, Devin, you know what I was just thinking about? When we were doing the Stamp Dancer design party thing and you did the corn design,
Oh,
you should make one of those and sell it. Like, that one was
Yes.
intense. I missed that. That was such a cool design.
yes, that corn design. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't even start making that one. I just didn't.
It just came out with it was just your stamps, too.
Yeah,
Like, it wasn't even-
I haven't made one yet. Maybe I should be able to do that. Make my own corn bracelet.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for that, ladies and
That
gentlemen.
was a cool design, dude. That was intense. Probably, I think you had I think it was around 100 stamps.
I think,
The whole
yeah,
thing.
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
It was probably 30 or 40 for just the corn.
Yeah, it was pretty much a simple just four stamps on it, but pretty much just all that stamp is pretty much about about 100.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of work on that one. I was hoping that would be able to be our new line, but then again, it's like,
I think we're waiting till next year.
Yeah.
We have a lot going on.
all right, so I'll be able to see on making that design coming up soon.
Yeah. Oh, Devin, I just want to tag team with so many designs with you now.
Let's see. I remember I just saw a question pop up. What does it say? Holden.
How do you make your own stamp from soup?
That is a very good question, and pretty much kind of like a long process to describe it, but all I do is just end up kind of getting myself a rebar or maybe a piece of a big nail,
Yeah.
and using an old file maybe.
Some
Anything.
people use railroad spikes or I'm pretty sure that Repoussé one is made with a big piece of railroad.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like a
'cause
railroad. I don't know.
I think
don't know where that would come from.
I think this used to be a nail because that's kind of like the flat end of the nail. Because if you go to camera 2 real quick, you'll see that this kind of has a nice groove in there, and I think that was actually part of a nail's head actually.
Oh wow.
Then whoever designed this actually managed to carve out the lines out of it to be able to get that Repoussé out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so pretty much any metal you'd be able to use, kind of like
Mostly steel.
well, yeah, mostly steel, mostly like steel rods, anything like that. But for something like this one here, go camera 2. This I kind of use like railroads or no rebars on it, and comes in kind of like a long strip of it. Well, this one was a little strip. It was kind of like a little scrap area that I just decided to use. And the process of it is that I cut it out.
Was with your handsaw?
Yeah, with a hand. Yeah, surprisingly, I
If
can't
it's
use
soft
my
en-
hands.
It's soft enough?
Yeah,
at that
it's
point?
soft. It's soft enough. Not soft as silver, but soft enough where I can cut
Yeah.
it.
When you get it, it comes soft, and then basically you have to file it and do all this polishing work and sanding.
Yep. All you gotta do is just heat it up to a nice, good red hot, so I can be able to soften it, and then let it air cool. I can't quench it because then that will just end up too hard, and then that's going to be harder to carve. But just let it cool down naturally. Once it's cooled down, all I gotta do is just, let's see, a little example, like I get my file, then after that I try to do my best to file off the shape of it first to be able to get that nice good triangle design. Then with different files, kind of like you can use a little Dremel tool, anything to be able to cut with. All I gotta do is just cut off some of these designs out, or file it down, then reheat it enough to where it's not red, but kind of like a nice good blue color to it. After that, just take the heat off, and then let it just quench it. And what they usually do is actually put in motor oil actually to help it cool down, but to still keep it hot enough to where it starts to slowly harden up more. But in this case, what I do is actually just dip it in bottom first in cold water and just let it cool on the bottom, but let it get hot on top.
Oh, that's what you do? You
Yeah.
just let it cool, you put it into the bottom and then let it cool as it comes up? You don't put it in at all?
Yeah,
Just
not the entire thing at all, so that I can be able to get the bottom part hard enough to where it won't end up bending or anything, and make sure the top side is still hot enough to where it'll start to harden up a little more. Then later, once I stamp on it, it's a nice good hard stamp where it doesn't end up bending on you.
Wow. Do you ever could you use like canola oil or any food oil? Or just motor oil, you think?
I think about doing that next time, but right now...
I have some old motor oil at home if you want me to bring it in.
Alright, yeah.
Let's make a stamp together.
Yep.
Devin, let's do so much stuff together. And then, how would you make the repoussé stamp? I know we talked about this a little bit. Basically, you would start off with the nail, and then you'd have to like have to make the other part. You'd have to use that to stamp into that.
Yeah,
when
that's
it's like
that's
red
why it's
hot and like almost molten metal.
yeah, that's why I saw on some repoussé people making it that I just ended up seeing them kind of like heat this kind of like what started off was just actually just a nice good metal block here. They heat it up to a nice good yellow color or it gets orange in a way.
Basically,
Nice.
like red hot, like
Oh, yes.
like you could bend it.
Yes.
Like what blacksmiths do.
Yeah, just get that area nice and hot. Then with this, they actually managed to stamp it on hard enough so they could be able to dent it in the metal itself. And that's how we be able to get that repoussé out. And that's why they say that when you're setting it, make sure everything is aligned because that's how they stamped it like that.
Gosh. Are you doing any more work on that copper bracelet right there?
Yep, just going to do some final stampings on the side here. And let's see, there was a few more questions that came up.
Duania wants to know if you have more control sitting or standing.
I would say you have more control of sitting because you pretty much still have control of it, but it depends on your comfort. That you can't be able to stand while you'll be able to stamp it. So yeah, you can be able to still stand up and stamp it, but it depends on your comfort. Where for us, we prefer to sit down because standing up, bending it down, then later, my back.
Yeah.
You'll end up walking like a grandpa for at least a day.
And we usually use stumps, like we're not usually stamping on the desk. So you saw Devin use the stump earlier.
Yep,
And
just
we have
right down
different
here.
size stumps because everybody's a different height. So like that stump, for example, I can't use because it's so short.
Yeah.
Devin has a pretty tall stamp because we're almost
pretty
the
much
same height.
It's pretty much about that. That high actually is where I can be able to stamp it like that. And this is actually my comfort zone. This one, somewhat my comfort zone, but still kind of gives me like, man.
Yeah, when you're doing a lot of stamping, like I think we stamp like 30 bracelets at a time. If you're uncomfortable, if you're like bending over it a lot, your back's done for the day after that.
Yeah,
There's
so
a lot
you-
of comfort stuff.
So yeah, you still have control on either standing or sitting, but it depends on your comfort. Let's see, another one came up. How long will the stamp last? The stamp itself, or this one, I had it for about, I think almost a year now.
They pretty much last forever if you use them properly.
Yeah, and they will end up kind of like denting on top here, like we're seeing on this one, where for quite a while they end up kind of like denting this part of it. But as long as the stamp is still and usable and doesn't have any dents or anything, then it can still be used. And eventually, the stamp, yeah, it'll last for a long time if you know how to use it. But if you don't, then you'll end up kind of like denting it a little more and then crack, bending the metal, and yeah, so.
Yeah, we have one stamp that we use for one of the lines that's so messed up, man.
We have a couple. We have a couple of them
basically,
actually.
it basically looks like mushrooms. Is how they look.
Yeah, pretty much kind of like it started because one of the stamps it started off this big. Let's go to here. It started off as this big, but we kept using it so much. It's about that small now, about 1 inch, and it's pretty much kind of like the metal itself is actually bending over itself.
It's pretty crazy to think about how many stamps, like how many times each stamp has been used.
Yeah,
in a
'cause-
shop.
Gets that one stamp, just constant. That it's kind of like hitting the nail where you kept constantly hit it, it goes down. Same thing with the stamp itself. Constantly hit it, it'll start to go down on you.
Awesome. Well, let's finish up that bracelet so we can show everybody.
All right, so we're going to finish this up here. Got a few more stamps to go here.
Yeah, we have a bunch upstairs. It's crazy.
Yep, this is just a little example, and we still have. Even I have my own personal ones, and I have lots.
So, are all the stamps made on site? We make some in shop. We also buy from a lot of artists that make stamps that are masters at it. Devin makes all of his stamps though. Usually.
I'm sorry to make my own stamps. Yeah, I think
That's a whole skill in itself.
Yep, I think I managed to make about 4 stamps at the moment. Total of 4 stamps, but the rest of these stamps that we had and some of them up top, they're actually already pre-made by different artists or kind of like this one. I think this one was made by a local jewelry business.
Yeah, so for more intense ones, like if you're doing your brand name or your signature or something like that, like any artist you'll find, like Alvin Monty, for example, they get custom stamps made by like people, like companies who make like signature stamps or like design stamps. So, and those ones are pretty expensive. It usually costs like $150 to $200 to get your custom stamp.
Yeah, just get this one
Just to get
little
your
rod.
name. Yeah, that's intense.
Yep. So this is pretty much I managed to make out of the stamps that I made.
You want to show it on this camera too?
Sure.
Maybe you get a little less reflection. That actually looks great from over here. Dang, Devin, which is the one that you said you messed up, but you got the wrong stamp at some point.
Let's see if you guys can find that out.
Dang, we keep dropping this one light.
Gremlins!
Gremlins. I'm trying to take a look. Which one is it? Oh my god. All right, I'm leaving it. I can't tell. Is it just flipped or? Oh, I see it. I think. Yeah, I see it.
Even from here, I think I can be able to see it.
Yeah, it took me a second. They're close. They look really close.
Yeah, see if you guys can be able to find that mistake I accidentally made.
And we should do like a little demo with two from the left. Yeah, on the bottom, I think is what they said, right?
Yeah, right here. That little messed up there.
Again? Which one was it?
It was this one. Let's see, I'll use
Rear
this.
dividers, yeah.
That one right there. You can
Very
be able to
cool.
see it, but luckily that I managed to grind it down. By that I mean that I just kind of...
You went over it with the other stamp, right?
Yeah, went over it, and I can easily grind that down, and it'll just disappear from everyone else.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's what I pretty much made out of it.
Cool. And I think are you gonna try to finish this one off and just make a fun copper bracelet to have on your next show?
Yeah, I'll have this one finished, and then we'll be showing it on our next show.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see, Sistina, she wants my corn
Yeah.
bracelets. All right, so I'll get to work on that one as soon as I have time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, what else we have here? Tia, what metal is the stamp made of? Yeah,
Mild steel, I think, is what like the technical name for it is. It's just mild steel.
yeah, mild steel. Anything kind of a good steel rod or anything steel
Yeah.
like sometimes sometimes for us that we don't have enough money to be able to go to get our own steels from anywhere, so we just end up kind of like using old
Railroad
steel
stuff is a big
old
thing.
old railroads.
We have a railroad tie anvil upstairs.
Yeah.
That one's fun.
Old railroads, rebars, and also something we actually use old files actually.
Yeah. But it has to be hardened, so it turns into hardened steel is what we have to use.
Yeah, so pretty much any steel we can be able to use for our stamping design.
And the steel blocks we use are always hardened steel as well. And if you look at the block too, it has a really clean finish. And that's, like, if you show the other side of the bracelet too, basically whatever on that steel block comes onto the bracelet. So you'll see you see the marks come through the other side, and if it's not like a perfectly polished mark or a steel block, it actually comes through a little like with the texture of the steel behind it.
Yep, you
That's
can
what
see
happens.
you can see there a nice good shine reflection. This side is the stamp side, this side's the back side.
Yeah, and there's the anvil we have on the floor over there. We had to polish out really, really intensely because I was using it, and I would get these terrible marks in the back.
Right here.
Yeah. We have a nice anvil upstairs too, but even if you hit it with your hammer, you dent the steel. So you gotta be careful with that stuff.
Oh yeah, you gotta be careful with those ones. The only reason the double stamp showed up was the reflection when you moved it around. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. It's pretty easy to notice, but once I managed to clean this up a little bit more, then that will actually disappear and it will look like there was no mistake there at all.
Mm-hmm.
Or a little chunky Pooh Bear in the middle and a corn on the sides. A little poo, huh? I'll see
Only
what
if you do Piglet too. Little Pooh Bear and Piglet.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's our show. Anything else you want to say about stamping?
Nope, that's pretty much it. And you guys saw that I could be able to make the repose, cut it out, and also you saw the process of making a stamp.
Yeah.
That if this was a continuous where I had no stopping or anything, I would have got this done about a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah. Usually, I think we timed ourselves out to do like simple stamp bracelets for the whole process. To make it bent, to oxidize it. It takes me like 12 minutes to make a bracelet. But I usually make like 30 at a time, or almost 40.
Mm-hmm.
And you make a lot too at a time, but you're doing the more difficult ones because you're the best stamper in the building, Devin. Shout out to Devin.
Yeah. So okay, so that's pretty much it for the show today. Just a little quick demo and a little informational live show to give to you guys. And once again, you guys can be able to come into the inner circle, and who knows, we'll see if we can be able to post in some little videos of us doing some works on there, letting you guys see the back and the behind the scenes on what we're doing, and also see if you manage to see us being a nice, good professional workers, or you end up seeing us goofy.
Yeah, and let us know what you want to see too for demos, because we just do so many things we don't even know what to show, because we have so many different things we do.
Stamping is just one little tiny taste of it, but everything else, ooh-wee, it's a different story up there. Once you go and see what we're doing, you're just wondering, what is this? What does this do?
Yeah, and if you ever get the chance to come into the shop, you'll see us working and stamping.
Non-stop, you'll be hearing all of our hits and bangs and everything.
Sistina's granddaughter had her, or who was that on YouTube?
Oh yes, Rosalind. Yes, she was saying that she has a granddaughter now. Ooh, nice! Congratulations, Rosalind from YouTube. Congratulations.
Yeah, she's saying her daughter had they had to get a C-section, so she was a little scared. But
yeah,
I'm glad everything went well.
Yeah, I remember that was yesterday. You commented that. Yeah, glad everything went well. May the great holy people be with you. Alright, so that's pretty much for the end of the show. I'll be working on some more jewelries here in a little bit and maybe a couple more days. Until then, you guys stay safe, have a fun time, and oh yeah, also stay tuned for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday shows. So stay tuned for those ones, and also keep an eye out because we're also doing we're doing a little special event going on next Saturday. Next Saturday,
oh
yep.
Oh my gosh, it's super close.
I know, it's already there, yep. So we're doing a little special event that maybe we'll say it tomorrow or Friday. If not, then maybe Marco Mickey will be able to give it out Monday.
Yeah, and we'll be doing a live show during it too, so fun.
Yep.
See y'all then.
Yep, until then, see you guys later.